Good evening, everybody. This is the Camera Artist Guild Thursday Image Critique, and I am your host, George DeLoache. I'm a portrait artist and photographer's coach coming to you from Los Angeles, California, and I hope you have had a fabulous week. I'm glad to be back and meeting up with you again on this Thursday. We've got some great images, and we're going to get into those in just a little bit. I hope your week's going good. Wow. Okay, you guys, let's get on over to the images and let's just see what we're doing. We're going to turn around and get ready to go. Okay, the first image is by John E. Bauer. And John, you always you've got a distinctive style that's evolving where you like putting the sunlight at low angle, so it's late afternoon, approaching golden hour. But you like to put that light behind the subject and then shoot into that light, and it's an interesting style. There are several people that have worked at it. One of the people that's done a little bit of it is Joel Grime. There are a couple others out there. This is the beginnings of a really cool image. Now, there's a couple of things you have to remember. When you let the light source, the sun, come through the subject here, where it's coming through the hand. Now, that may be intentional because that's the way you look at it. But what that will do, now, if you want to do this, and if it's something that you've chosen to do, then good enough. It's not up to me to say, what's good or bad. But I just want to point out something. When that light comes through there, it flares the lens. It goes into the lens, it travels across the surface of the lens, and it degrades the image as far as contrast and saturation in and around the area near the lens. And because it's a bright light and very bright and is flaring into the hand and the body and upper torso, your eye gets drawn there, where I would believe that you would want the eye of the viewer to be right up here at the subject. Now, the subject is, it's pretty neat. I think that you could move that camera position just a little bit over and let that light, and keep the same lighting pattern behind, but let that light not come through the arm right here, but actually be blocked off by the arm. Hold the left arm out so you would get a shape in the upper torso of the body, but you wouldn't get that flare coming through the lens because the body itself would be blocking the direct light, and then you're using your artificial light. Maybe your composition would be a little stronger if you took the image from right bullseye dead center and moved it a little bit off to the third, brought a little more basketball net in there. I think that would strengthen it. And I would put, and I understand you're trying to show height, and that's admirable. One of the best ways to do that from this position, if you're going to take a low position like that, is a shift tilt lens. I have one that's a Nikon lens. It happens to be an older one, and it's manual. But the lens elements, front elements, actually shift. And what that does is that changes the perspective. You have the same height, but you bring the feet and the head back together so that the feet don't look so huge and the head looks so small. Yet you still have the same height relationship. So that's maybe a radical decision, but it's a lens that you'll use periodically. You could do that in Photoshop. You can do some stuff with the transform tool to bring that together. Or you can raise that camera angle till it's about waist high and try at that, or move farther off the subject to the back and use a longer lens. Now, I don't know what length lens you were using at the time, but maybe you back off and use a 200, and then you could keep the same height, but the distortion wouldn't be quite as radical. But it's still a great image. I really like it, and I like your style. I can still remember the lady on the bench alongside the ocean with the sun behind her hat and everything, which made for a very nice looking image. So just keep it up, man. Keep it up. You definitely have a style developing. I can tell your image the minute it comes up. Okay, Keith Davis. Now, Keith, Keith runs a lot of different things, does a lot of different things, and so his style is all over. But this is unusual for you to move into this area. I actually think this one really calls for at least a reflector, if not a secondary light source, an available light source. Like I would use a large shoot-through umbrella if I could get away with it, like a Paul Buff or a soft lighter, something like that. And I wouldn't put enough light through it that you could really tell, but I'd raise her exposure up a little bit more. Now, two things would happen when you do that. You could darken the background down a little bit by dragging the shutter, that is, increasing the shutter speed, and then adding the light on the front end, which would still keep this beautiful rim light that you're getting from the sun. But there's a couple of things you can do. Just kind of balance that light out there a little bit more. Okay. And again, Keith, boy, you have really developed as a photographer. I want to just say that, man, I remember when you started out, and I remember that the images that you were sending, they were all pent up, and I couldn't show half of them because they were so provocative. And now you're starting to move over to other stuff. Now, I'm comfortable with provocative images as long as it's not too many X's in it. But Facebook won't allow me to transmit images that are provocative. But anyway, you're one of the good brothers, man, and I just really think you're great, man. That's Philadelphia. That's Keith Davis. Okay, Al Cabrera. Al, you are outstanding. And again, your style has really come up. I love the way you are doing everything. I understand the wide angle. I don't know whether I would use that wide angle of lens if I could get back a little bit farther. You've got some keyholing happening here with the church, and not keyholing, but perspective. The church leans into the center of the image rather than being straightened up. So you could probably get away with doing some retouching to it. Your lighting and your position on the model is very nice. All in all, it's a great image. But you always do good stuff, man. You always do. And sometimes I struggle to try to figure things out that I can help you move up to the next level. But one thing that also might help, just think about it, using a grid on your light source, which would focus the light up here on the model, but it would taper off some into the hand region. So this hand wouldn't be so bright in a predominant portion of the image. It would just, and the dress itself would not have all of the light on it. So it just means using a grid and positioning it a little bit. But wow, I even like the exposure, and that's a gift to get that street light on and it be the proper brightness to fit in with the overall scene and not be out of exposure. But everything from the backlighting of the sun, the street light, the model, yeah, good stuff, Al. Keep showing it.